Hey,
Hello.
you can
How
hear
are
me. I can hear
you?
you.
That's good. Hi, everyone. Please type in a one if you can hear us in the chat box. Fantastic.
Yay! I see Ben. I see Lauren. Let's see who else. I see Sean.
There's Malcolm and Ben.
Sarah.
Fantastic. Okay. We'll give it just
Awesome.
a few more minutes for a few more people to join here. I see Eric. Oh, I see a couple from our previous sessions. Hi, Chris. All right. All right, everyone. Well, I want to introduce you to the lovely Ashley Evans, who we're really, really happy to have joining us today. Ashley runs a boutique design and branding firm out of Nashville, Tennessee. She's also the founder of Spotlight 615. So I'm sure she'll tell you all about that. But today she's going to be giving you some useful tips, in her professional opinion, about what you can be doing to be working on right now during this time at home on your brand, what you can be doing to interact with your fans. And I think you're really going to get a lot of useful tips from her. So I'll let you take it away, Ashley.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me today. How's my volume? Can you hear me well, everybody? Awesome. We got a couple ones already. So I would love to find out a little bit about you guys so I can hopefully help tailor some of the things that I talk about to your guys' specific projects, whether you're artists, musicians, DJs, or you're also, if you're a manager or an agent like myself. If you guys take the next 10 seconds and type in the comment box where you're from. And follow that with whether you're a musician, an artist, manager, agent, or if you're just a fan here to join. I'd love to kind of be able to tailor some of the stuff that I talk about, really based either on region or just some of the different things. Okay, so we've got Nashville, we've got Los Angeles. Nashville, we had some great weather today. Oh my gosh, we have had, before we jump all in, and I figure there's still a few people more jumping in the chat, we have had crazy storms. About 2 months ago, right before COVID started, we had a huge tornado on March 3rd, and it's devastated a lot of the music industry about, 7 to 10 days before everything really hit the rest of the country. And this past week, we had some, they invented some new word for it, of what these storms were that we had on Sunday and Monday. There was over 150,000 people in Nashville that had no power. I am thankful my house is safe, my internet's safe, all that sort of stuff. But it's been really crazy here. So I see some fellow Nashvillians. Hopefully they got out and caught some sunshine today. Cool. So we've got somebody from UK, Brazil, Virginia, Ireland. Oh my gosh, Wisconsin, all the cheese friends. You guys are from all over. This is really great. Okay, one last question. Where do you guys feel like you're sitting right now with, most of us are kind of going into about 6 to 8 weeks, with COVID. One means you're freaking out, you don't know what's going on in life. 10, you've got your stuff figured out and you're at the point rocking it. You've got your days going. And this is the best thing. And there's no wrong answers. I feel like there's some days where I feel like I'm at a 3 or a 4 and I'm bored out of my mind. And those are the rainy days. Other days I'm like, it's sunshine, I got out, I did stuff. And I'm at a 10, and then it could just roller coaster after that. Let's see. So we've got, cool. It looks like people's numbers are going up. That's really, really great. Got some 7s, 9s. I like the people who are already locked in their studios. They're professionals at this. Like a lot of artists we're extroverted and really great being on, stage when we have to, click into that performance mode. But I think a lot of us are introverts. So like this is a really great time for us to, focus on a lot of different things that we can do from home. While obviously the touring aspect where we make most of our money is kind of gone right now. Hopefully today I leave you guys with some ideas that you're able to help, just either keep busy or, you haven't thought about yet, and it will help you be ready for when this is over, to just be able to, have your brand, your band, all of that be ready to just really, launch and be ready to hit the road right when we're done. All right, let's see. We got some fun little responses here. Okay, so I have a few quick categories that I'm going to go over today. So one of the big things that I've talked about a lot to a lot of my friends that are artists, musicians, is to create structure. That's kind of one of the really big things to make sure you take care of every day. The second thing is some stuff to do with social media. The third is what are some things that you can work on updating right now? There's so many things that you could update in your life, from social media to devices. Then we'll kind of talk a little bit about creating your brand. At that point, I'm going to invite our friend Mark, who's up at the top bar, Mark Pearson from Arc Law. He's out in San Francisco. He does a lot of music, entertainment attorney sort of stuff. And so kind of he'll help me with a little bit of trademarking stuff on that side. So I've had a few friends reach out with either just trademarking their names, trademarking logos, marks, all that sort of stuff. And then I'm going to hopefully leave you guys with some ways to connect with your fans, connect with fellow industry professionals and peers. Can't leave without talking about mental health, and maybe leave you, if you've moved your like 4 up to like a 7 or an 8 by the end of this chat, we'll get you some goals to help get us through the rest of this. So one of the first things that I've been on a couple of these panels or conversations with people, the biggest thing, it sounds so silly, make your bed and take a shower every day. Like it sounds so silly, but if you're in the Netflix and chill mode for day 27, your mental health is definitely going to start struggling after that. So, that's definitely one thing. I was talking to my friend Adara the other day, and one of the things that we were talking about is really just scheduling a lot of stuff in your life. Whether that's calling your grandma, checking in on your high school friends, carving out certain times to write with your partners, your co-writers. Try to have structure. You don't have to book up your entire day, but if you're able to kind of carve out that 1 or 2 things that you're able to, really look forward to. Some of us still have crazy schedules with work, and other people don't have anything. So it's really great to kind of know that whoever you're calling, hopefully like they are able to give you that focus and attention at that point, with all of that. And a couple other things is just kind of like meal prep. Figure out ways to create some more healthy options. I know a lot of friends have been talking about stress eating. Anybody guilty out there, go ahead and raise a little virtual hand over in the comments. Definitely Trader Joe's. There's these brookie things. They're brownie cookies. I have been every 2 weeks when I go to Trader Joe's. That's definitely been my guilty pleasure. But I think kind of helping myself create some structure, whether it's a couple meals a day that are prepped from either like breakfast or dinner stuff. Oh yes, the quarantine 15. I think it's supposed to be quarantine 19. Definitely put on a few there. But just really trying to create those structures that we're used to. If you're a nighttime person and also a bartender, try to shift some of your days to still keeping those hours. Ooh, pizza. I did have some of that the other day. It was really great, which is not normal for me. But yeah, just really kind of creating those structures. Everything from color coordinating your Google calendars, to be able to see like, okay, these are fun things that I have to do in addition to then, you know, just work goals. Kind of helps you plan out your week. You could use that for social media scheduling as well. I'm not a big fan of planning the entire month on social media. I like to have certain things that I'm talking about and know that I'm promoting shows, but I really feel like it's a lot more genuine when you have a candid response, not just like a pre-planned whole media for the month. I think it's just a lot more genuine because then you could tie in what's actually going on. Let's see. Having your artists use their time. Yes, we are definitely, Kevin, we are definitely going to get to improving some of their craft and the boring administrative stuff soon, for sure. So then kind of one of the other things, so for topic number 2, I try to do at least 1 or 2 of these like social media house cleaning events per week. You know, I've gone through maybe once or twice a month where I've, you know, gone up and cleaned my social media up, deleted old non-applicable posts, things that are duplicated, really just trying to find ways to help streamline your media. I was talking to my friend Kimberly Kelly the other day, and we were just kind of going through some stuff. Instagram has this really great new feature where you don't have to necessarily delete your posts, but sometimes you share funny memes just because you want to in the moment, but at least then you can kind of help clean up some of your social media. Take advantage of the time right now. Delete and clean up your devices, back up your media, clean out emails, clean out junk mail, go through those things that end up in all those weird other folders. I had a friend message me today, or a music acquaintance, and she messaged me and was like, oh my God, you sent me this email like 2 months ago asking to play a show and I just saw it. Well, guess that show's not there anymore. So it's just really good to kind of even, not just now, but really like dig yourself out of the hole of those emails, you know, and keep track of those contacts who hopefully once, you know, this is over, you're able to kind of get them at the top of your contact list, be able to reach out to them right away, you know, star them as favorites to make sure you're following up and stuff. And then, you know, one other better thing is like, I really love Dropbox. One of my favorite things, I have the app on my phone. It's a great way to like back up personal photos. But if I'm working on a lot of stuff that's high res, you know, I do a lot of photo shoots. It's really nice to be able to, you know, just send somebody a link, give them a high res photo. It's really great. Do that for your, you know, work tapes, your, you know, your MP3s and your WAV files and all of that. I really recommend the business account. It's $100 a year and you can write it off with your business. But for me, it basically gives unlimited data space, and it's been really nice to be able to, you know, just have access to all of that sort of stuff. One thing on cleaning up, make everything match. This is something that drives me crazy all the time as somebody who does a lot of branding, and just tries to make artists' social media look consistent. If there's a photo that's your current album cover or your single, try to make everything match, whether that's the Facebook photo, obviously your fan page and your personal page. A lot of times people want to have a different, you know, their personal friends on one page, their fans on the other, but anywhere like you have a fan access platform, try to have all of those pictures match all the way down to your Google little picture on your Gmail as well as your Venmo. There's a lot of times that I go to pay artists on Venmo and it's not always recognizable who I'm sending the money to. So if we know that, you know, all of those images are the same, now's a really great time to be able to update all of those images to hopefully be, you know, consistent along your brand on all the places. Anybody have any questions so far with like the cleaning it up stuff? The other ones that just had is, you know, update your LinkedIn. If you have some new headshots, you know, who knows who's going to need some jobs after this all, you know, figures itself out. You know, keep your work portfolio and catalog updated, you know, all the people you've worked with, as well as just, you know, all the different projects you've worked on. It's really great because I feel like I have a lot of random people all over the country who reach out to me on a regular basis. once I'm making sure that I am updating all my stuff. Anybody have any questions on things that they're working on with their social media? Nope.
Ashley, do you recommend any of the social media avenues more than another? Do you feel like Twitter's more, successful than Instagram? Do you think they should do everything possible, or maybe just focus in on one or two or three different forms, or what do you recommend?
One of the next topics that I'm getting to is actually a perfect segue is, who are your fans? So many artists, first establish who you are, and then figure out who your fans are. Not every 22-year-old girl, her fans are going to be 22 years old. Not every 45-year-old, I don't want to call them a boy band, but like if it's an all male driven band, not all of their fans are going to be in the same age or use the same social media as them. So, pay attention to the people who are coming up to you at your merchandise booth. Think of the people who are in the crowd at your shows and the people who you actually do see commenting on the different platforms maybe you like. I feel like I love Instagram the best because I like the stories where I can like post something silly. It goes away in 24 hours, but I feel like I have a lot more interaction on the stories than I actually do on posts. Whereas like, I hate Facebook. It's too political. It's too much right now. Somebody's always fighting. And at the end of the day, it's like, I don't love that platform, but I feel like I have the most interaction on my Facebook page, where the most people comment, the most people actually click the links. So really at the end of the day is figuring out who you are as an artist and where you like to share stuff. Like obviously links don't work best on Instagram. So like if you do have links, obviously share those on places more like Twitter and Facebook. But really just who are you and know your audience. That is the biggest piece of advice that I could give you. Don't just be spamming the same stuff to every single platform. Really try to curate each post. And that's kind of what I was saying before, is like, I don't like to set up everything. Like today we're talking about music, tomorrow I'm talking about food, tomorrow I'm talking about a show, space out those things that you're talking about, but make sure you're talking about it in the way that makes the most sense on that platform where those fans kind of see a different side of you.
Right. Okay. We have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Gibbs wants to know, what you think about Pinterest. He said someone in another networking group has mentioned Pinterest, but do musicians really look at it? And he said that that it's a great way to link to other sites. If you click on that photo and then it can bring a link to another one. He's wondering if anyone who's looking for music really looks at Pinterest, do you feel like?
It really depends on what your brand is. One of my friends, Allie D, she's a Texas artist that I've worked with for a really long time. She has a clothing line. So I know that while people know her from being on CMT's Texas Women, they've also followed her as a musician, where she's played tons of big stages all across the country over the last 10 years. But she also has this clothing line. So, we definitely connect with a younger crowd for her. She does have a men's line of clothing and has I think she has actually a couple baby kid things that she just launched. But really kind of knowing what your demographic is. Her music page is definitely very music. Her Pinterest is very, it's not just her t-shirts. It's, her t-shirts are kind of mixed in with other things that are Western rodeo wear. Some artists use it for, doing hairstyles. They might be like, oh, I'm going to do a Pinterest board for like cool stage hair, or, cool portraits that they see other artists. It's a really great place to like store your inspiration. So, looking at artists that you look up to, and all of a sudden, once you go to that board and it's kind of created, you're like, oh, every picture I clicked, everybody's wearing black leather jackets. And you're like, ooh, I'm not a black leather jacket person, but maybe I could be. So I feel like a lot of the Pinterest boards are really great to be able to help you define what it is or save ideas for later that you could implement in your own stuff. But if you do have merch, it's great to share those things as well, because hopefully people then start sharing and saving those pins to their page. And they might just find your merch or your shirts or like all of your sort of stuff, and then find a reason to go explore more from you. So I don't know if it's the biggest platform to connect on, but I feel like you're definitely going to find some random people out there that you wouldn't have connected with otherwise.
Okay. We have another one kind of on the same note, and you might be getting to this. Do you have a good system for getting your social media organized? Someone says that they film a lot, but they don't always post it. And now they're feeling overwhelmed because they don't like posting, but things are building up, it sounds like, you know, as far as what's being filmed. And should that person start posting them now?
I'd say post when you feel comfortable. It's good to kind of pre-record. I know for girls, it takes a lot to get hair, makeup, all the lighting done, all of those things. And even if it's something as simple as just changing your t-shirt 4 different takes between, each song that you're singing, post when you feel inspired. That's the greatest thing about being an artist is you don't have to follow a normal business plan of every other business. Follow the business plan that makes sense for you and makes sense for what you're feeling. We are in a very creative, emotion-driven industry. And so don't feel like you have to post just because your other friend who has similar fans posts 5 days a week. Post when it makes sense. Try to space out some stuff based on how much content you're making. But don't feel like people forget about you. The people listen to you, people connect with you. Post however much you feel like. And I try to say like maybe once a week so you don't fully disappear. But don't feel like you have to be posting all day, every day just because other people are.
Right. And one last one on this topic before you move on. Mark Duff, who's a producer in Dublin, Ireland, wants to know if you aim yourself at a specific platform.
If I what?
It says if you aim yourself at a specific platform, are there specific ones you like?
Like I said, I really like Instagram just because I'm a photographer and I've had Instagram for about 10 years. So I have like 4,000 pictures on mine, which is probably a lot. And it's just, I've used it for so long more as a visual story of my life. And I think that's what a lot of artists do. I've been able to tour with a lot of really big artists all across the country. And for me as a manager, agent, photographer on the road, like I love being able to document the things that I do in picture form. I have other friends who are really great with Facebook because they are able to write amazing story novels. My friend Chance, he writes the longest novels on Facebook, but every time he posts one, I'm just like, it's just telling about life, but it feels like a book. It feels like a story. You're transported to this time. And it's just, I feel like every person really kind of connects with their own.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. So one of the other ways that you could connect with your fans, like I said before, who are your fans? Do they want to see photos? Do they want to see posts? Do they like watching your silly stories? Do they actually want to watch you do a Facebook Live? 6-8 weeks ago, I think everybody said yes. Now it's kind of like, oh, who's live again? What am I getting from this? I feel like a lot of friends have done very different structured stuff. Some friends just sing one song every day. Some songs take a request. Some friends do one show a week and it's, requests. Other ones have been doing really cool cover shows. My neighbor Shelly, she did one the other day that was all Elvis songs. She dressed up in Elvis, had like a full-on like chest of fuzz, and it's really fun. And they did like a tiki one in the yard last week, and she had like a little pool, and there was some computer technical difficulties that like fell in the water, and it was crazy. But I like that, she's been doing 3 shows a week, and every show has been very different. Like, from Elvis to Jimmy Buffett to originals to all over fan requests. Give your fans a reason to tune in. Don't just say I'm playing the same 5 songs every day. Really think about when you're touring on stage. Would you play the same songs on a Friday night in Boston that's cold as you would on a Tuesday afternoon if you're playing a beach festival set in LA? Really think about the space you're playing, you know, even though we're all playing in our living rooms right now, create something fun for your fans to be able to look forward to. But also, you know, check in with them, see how they're doing. Like, it's really important to them for them to know that you're doing well right now. And even if you're not fully well, they just want to know that you're alive and okay and just all of that. And it really means a lot to them. So even if there's days that you don't know what to post and you don't know what to talk about, create something even intimate like a Zoom group of, you know, 10 of your favorite fans that, you know, you don't even need to make money off creating it as a paid or, you know, dropping your Venmo in the comments sort of thing. Give them that experience that, you know, they spend so much time going to all of these shows, you know, find those ways to connect them. And one other thing that a lot of friends have been setting up right now is a Patreon. It's a great way for fans to have different levels of donations that they give you every month, which is a really great way to have some consistent income right now, which I know is huge. And, you know, give those people some exclusive content. I think that's really, really good. And then the last thing is update your website. Mark and I were talking about this, Mark Pearson, up at the top. We were talking about how many artists don't have their website updated. Mark, you should jump on video, and we should have a mini recap of this conversation the other day. Hold on, let's see. We got Mark's video. Let's see if we can get some vocals there.
Yeah.
There we are.
Right on.
Turn up a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. It's got to cover. The phone covering the mic.
Perfect. I feel like the people were getting sick of me just listening or talking the whole time. So how many things have you bought on and shared lately on your Merchandise Monday? And of those, how many do you feel like you could have purchased more, but the artist did not have their website updated?
Okay, so it's kind of a double-sided question for me.
Okay.
And I'll explain why. Yes, there are a number of artists who did not have merchandise updated. Now, some of that is the artist's fault because they're small artists and they do their own fulfillment. In a couple instances, we found out it was licensing partners' fault that should have had their website updated, which then created into, say, like Bands in Town or something like that, or Bandcamp, but was not. And so it turned out it was a licensing partners issue, and so we got that straightened out, and now the merch sites are active. But there are a number of people who didn't have anything set up at all. And I know they have merch because I've been to their shows. And so they just never set up an online portal to buy merch, probably because they didn't think it was going to be of value. But now all of a sudden we're in this quarantine period, and a lot of people are discovering new music online or hearing about things or coming into contact with someone who says, listen to this. And then they have no option to be able to go on their site and buy anything. So I've been telling everybody, just get your websites updated. Now, on the personal side, I am a very large individual. So many artists, and I work with a lot of female artists, and they're the worst. I love my female artists and I love my female clients, but they don't stock anything larger than an XL. And so
because we have to charge like plus $3.
Right. I know, and that's part of the gig. And I give full credit to my girl Lauren Anderson. I don't know if Lauren's on.
Yes, we love Lauren.
Lauren had great merch in XXL in purple. Awesome. So she'll be showing up in one of my videos very soon.
Awesome.
Yeah. So part of it is making sure that you have. But it is to say there is a larger issue here because there's some artists I've looked, they've got like only small, or they've only got the women's tank top, but the unisex t-shirt there's none available. So I also understand that it's in some cases it's hard to get fulfillment right now, and for most of us who are not prepared for this, what are you going to do, right? I mean, if your manufacturer isn't available to send you an order, there's not much you can do except sell what you got. So I don't chastise anyone for not having website or their merch, updated, I just remind you, if you have the ability to do it, because there are people out there looking to buy stuff. And I've been buying stuff and I've gotten some cool stuff. So I'm very happy. Yeah, I'm happy. The wife's not so happy because there's not closet space for her anymore. So all my teeth. Right on.
So one of the really awesome things right now, which I was actually learning about today, so I'm implementing this on one of my artists' website, is in Shopify, you can actually connect with Printful, and Printful does on demand.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the things that's really awesome, that you can offer, a t-shirt with the logo on it. You can have it say black, or it could be white, and you can have that wide range of sizes, but you can put that logo on anything you want, from swimsuits to bean bags, and you have zero inventory. So while a lot of people try to get t-shirts somebody just posted Printful. Good job.
Yep.
So with that, it's like, oh my God, we have these really cool bean bags we want to put our logos on. Whose tour bus has room for like 5 bean bags on tour? None. But you can always have like a catalog book of, hey guys, we're at the merch store. It's great for now to set up, but later print something that's like a little flip through catalog that says, go online. Yes, it would totally be fun on a tour bus. I do love that idea. Maybe just one. So everybody would be like, oh wait, I want one of those. Oh, by the way, you guys go get this on our store. But it's great to be able to do everything from swimsuits to hats to literally offering every product. Or you could have one product that's new for the month and say, hey guys, we got one new product up. And at the end of the day, pull it down and you just kind of toggle it to a hidden feature. Or, say you put up an awesome fun shirt for a theme for a holiday and it's not selling well and you're like, oh my God, this thing's been up for 3 weeks. It's like, instead of you printing 30 of those and now you're stuck with them that you bought for $8 a piece trying to sell for 20, and now you're stuck with all this inventory you're trying to sell for $5 a piece just to get rid of it. It's so great just to be able to say, hey, you know what? Charge $8, I still do 20, but at the end of the day, you might make $2 or $3 less than you initially would have, but you don't have to worry about that inventory. You don't have to worry about having a merch person. Again, not to like put my merch friends out of work on the road, but if you're playing venues that they're not supplying a merch person, by the way, awesome coffee cup. And so, it's just not having to deal with inventory, not having shirts get ruined, not having people steal them, or all your friends, hey, can I have a free shirt? No, stop asking your band friends for a free shirt. I feel like it eliminates so many problems. But yeah, look into Printful. And if you need a graphic designer, hit me up. We can figure out who your brand is and who your fans are. But yeah, is there any products you feel like you found on your adventures, Mark, that you really feel like were really cool that you came across?
One of the things that I thought was really interesting, and this was something I believe that came from Eve Fleischman, who is a singer, kind of a jazz singer, and she just relocated to New York. But she had all of her music on a flash drive that was shaped like a backstage pass.
Okay.
And so at the merch table, it looked really cool because you could like buy a backstage pass.
Yeah.
It also had all of the music and then video content and other things that were loaded on there as well.
Okay.
I recognize that in today's music marketplace, physical product, even digital downloads, is not really what everybody's doing, right? We're all on streaming. I got all my streaming services and my playlists and all that. But that still stuck out to me as something cool. And I would probably still buy something like that, even though I may not ever use the music on it, just as a cool keepsake of the show. And I think a lot of people, they say that like 20 to 30% of people who buy vinyl don't even own a record player.
Yeah.
They're buying the vinyl because they like it. They like the collection. They like the artwork. They like to be able to see all of that and have it. But they're buying it as, not necessarily a collection that's going to make money in the future or something like that, but just to have it because they like it. And so I think that plays into that same thing with what Eve had. But that was one thing I thought was really cool.
Yeah, and I think one of the things too is, again, knowing who your market and your demographic is. It's not just 22-year-olds buying vinyl because it's cool. I mean, my parents have a lot of vinyl. I have a lot of friends who are my age who buy vinyl. But you know, I feel like it's definitely all across the board now on who buys vinyl. It's not just one niche demographic of everybody's grandmas. You know, it's cool that, you know, it is definitely something that's coming back and all of that. So cool. Is there any questions, Hannah, that you saw that popped through on this that we want to make sure we don't miss before it scrolls past?
Well, this one's pretty important because Kevin wants to know if when he's in Nashville in August, if he can bring margaritas and you guys can go sailing.
Yeah, we can definitely go sailing. Last fall, Mark and I put like, oh gosh, was it 9 people on my boat that's supposed to have 4? There's pictures on Instagram that prove it. So it's
well, so anyway, he says thank you and that this is all amazing insight. So thank you very much.
Ran out of gas.
awesome.
We do have one question, kind of back. Enrico, his cell service is cutting in and out, so I hope he's still on. But he wants to know how you deal with self-promotion on social media in general. And basically he wants to know, to sum it up, should you toot your own horn? Meaning, like, when you're posting an advertising production video or production services, would you mention that this one is a multi-Grammy winner? Or any strong credits that you've worked with? Or would you just go humble, he says, and let people find out on their own when they kind of look at the website?
So 2 answers. So when you guys actually posted my little promo square last week, it says Taylor Swift and Major League Baseball, 2 very, very different times in my life. It was really funny. I probably had about 10 text messages reach out to me saying like, wait, I've known you forever. When did you work for Taylor Swift? Obviously in the music industry, we have a lot of confidentiality stuff that we have to sign. You know, we can talk about it, but obviously we can't like go down full marketing plans. So I think there's parts of it where, you know, I personally am really bad at it. It's not like I walk around where I'm like, hi, so I work for Taylor Swift. Except for my friends who know that I love Taylor and she's amazing, but story for another time. You know, I think it's fine if you're putting up an ad, especially from more of a fan page, do all of those things. You know, a lot of times people know that there's other people on a team. I know friends who run their own social media as well as respond to people who for offers and they have an alias. And it's like, you know, Team Ashley says this, and, you know, kind of give that presence of like, somebody else is on your team. Like, not to say you're bigger, but like we can't all employ 20 people to do all of the jobs that we need done. So it's kind of nice to have that alias who is able to toot your horn for you, even if it is yourself scheduling those posts and creating those things. Even if it is coming from your fan page, that is your name. I would say definitely go from those stuff. More on the personal side, I feel like every once in a while I try to do a very casual share from those bigger artists page where I'm able to share the work that I've done and just be like, oh my gosh, you guys check out this project I just finished. And, you know, kind of promote it more in that way on my personal side. So friends who are connecting over there are able to see, you know, the things that I am working on, as well as friends not in the industry. Like I have a lot of friends from back home where they're always like, oh my God, who are you working with? And who should I check out? So I definitely love being able to share different voices for who your audience is. You know, are you talking to your friends' parents who are your friends on Facebook? Or are you talking to fans or potential coworkers, bosses, colleagues? You know, really separate those voices on the platform. And in that sense, again, know who your fan is.
Right. But in an ad, a promotional ad,
100%.
it would be perfectly appropriate.
Nobody knows who you are. Toot all the horns.
Right. Okay. All right. Thanks. And yeah, I mean, the last one here was just if you have any portals you suggest for selling your merch, such as Shopify. But I think that would probably depend on your website, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a fan of Squarespace. I just feel like everything links up really easy. And usually I build websites in Squarespace, and then a lot of friends, they update them afterwards. They're like, oh my God, I was on WordPress and it was so stressful. And then all of a sudden, like, I build them a whole pretty website and they're like, I went in and I didn't mess things up and this was great. I'm like, yay. So, okay, so speaking of moving on to our next topic, connecting with your peers and coworkers. Online co-writing is huge right now. I know a lot of people are missing writing in person, but this actually allows us to learn how to co-write in environments that are less than ideal. I know a lot of people who do come to Nashville, 1 week out of every month, and they write 5 days in a row. And half the time they come in town and they're like, Ash, do you have anybody I could write with? Like, this is the type of vibe I'm going for. I had 4 co-writes set up this week over the course of 5 days, and 2 of them have canceled. This makes no sense for me to come to Nashville. It's like, maybe can you save those Southwest miles? Can you write with those 2 people from home? Or when you can't necessarily get back right away, when flights are back to normal prices, utilize these skills and be able to, get better at this, like, at-home co-writing thing right now virtually, to be able to use that long-term. A lot of our heroes are at home in quarantine just like them. My friend Elizabeth suggested this one: reach out to them. She's like, you never know who will answer. And, whether you guys start talking about an album you loved of theirs or whatever. A couple weeks ago, one of my friends was talking to me. She's like, oh my gosh, so I love the Smashing Pumpkins. And they're just like, oh my God, my favorite band. And I thought she was like going to be in tears. Like, she was like, their show in Nashville's canceled and I'm so sad. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, my friend Katie Cole plays for them. And, I designed her last album. And she just like, oh my God, she was so excited. I was like, dude, just send her a funny cat meme on Instagram. And she like messaged me. She's like, oh my God, Katie wrote back. I was like, I'm like, I could call Katie right now and she'll answer, which is like fun and cool. But it's really cool that the people that we look at as, I don't want to say like normal people, but like we work with them on a regular basis, they are somebody's heroes. And, I look up to everybody that I get the opportunity to work with. And it's really cool to see like somebody who's like a fan of Katie's for, the band she plays for, just respond to a funny cat meme that all of a sudden made that person's day. So like, I'm sure their quarantine, like mental health level is definitely like a 10 right now. Even though it was at a 1 when all the shows got canceled. But yeah, so just, reach out to all of those, different types of people. Listen to new songs and artists that you're not familiar with. It's a really great way to get new perspective, inspiration. Listen to stuff that's outside of your normal genre. I think it's really important, like, the type of art that I design, I like to try to learn about all different types, because the style that I design for myself would be different than 10 different musicians. And I have to be able to tweak my design styles to accommodate what we've established as their brand. I would not design the same album cover for Taylor Swift as I would if a player on the Cubs decided to drop a rap album. But, I would figure out who their demographics are and who the people are that are buying their products, and be able to create a product for both of their fans with my own style. So I definitely feel like, trying to find ways to, broaden your horizons and all of that. Everyone needs to keep in musical shape, so it's good to keep each other, being held accountable and be creative together. So, again, try to take this into your co-writing, as well as watch the live videos and posts of the other artists that you know. It'll definitely help inspire you. Somebody earlier was asking, when do you post stuff? Watch your friends' things. Don't feel like you have to compete against them, or don't feel like just because they're posting more than you or less than you. Hopefully whatever they post inspires you to come up with your own version of that. and just, help get motivated for something for the next week. Anybody have any questions on, connecting with peers, potential coworkers? Has anybody reached out to anybody that they didn't expect would write them back and has had an opportunity to get a response from them, whether it's like a like on an Instagram post or all of that. So, all right, nobody's written back there. One of the last little topics that I want to run through quick is a lot of friends sent me some recent ideas just to take care of your mental health. Go for a drive. Some friends are saying, read more books, plant a garden, do journaling. Check out of social media. It is totally okay to turn off all of the noise. Find something to do outside. I know I joked earlier at the beginning of this, we've definitely found some time in Nashville to clean up lots of trees. Just learn something new, whether that is, practice guitar, learn piano. I had one friend who said he's like learning how to program web code right now. He's like, it's so interesting. I never thought I would love to do this. But yeah, so mostly just, really try to work on your mental health, get outside, get some sunshine, and, circling back to the beginning of those basics of, showering, making your bed, all of those things, just finding that structure every day that helps you just, find ways to stay healthy. And it's okay to talk to people. Reach out to me. I'm always full of random memes. Like, I always have friends who message me. They're like, can you just send me something really funny today? And I'm like, hold on. This is my step up to the plate moment. But yeah, so I don't know. Is there anything that anybody here has been, working on for mental health, or anything that they feel like they've found has been really helpful to them in these times right now? Anybody? Thanks, Mark. Thanks for visiting in. Mark Duff down there.
Gibbs says drink a lot of water.
Yes. I live on LaCroix.
Hydrated, yes. Somebody does have a question. Is this a good time to release new music from a marketing standpoint?
It depends on what you're doing with it. A couple of the artists that I've chatted with, actually one of which today, they actually still have a lot of people in the UK who are still writing and reviewing their new stuff, and they've kind of bumped some of their USA release dates on singles and stuff. But they still want to put out a couple of the singles. Like, those are the things that they're able, they've released a couple extra singles than they anticipated. They're just not getting as many publicist responses right now, just because everyone's been furloughed, and a lot of people just aren't allowed to work for the big publications right now, or like loses their unemployment. If you have something cool, put it out. Who knows where the world's going to be in a month. So I would say put it out. If it makes you happy, if it's good, if it's just to, this is like a really great time to create art for you. You don't necessarily have to create it for the fans, the people, all of that. Try some experimental stuff. If Taylor Swift can change genres, so can you. Be whatever you want. If you're pop and you want to put out an acoustic track, do that. Take this time to experiment and maybe see some new stuff that your fans might try. You might get a lot more feedback, and you can always pull it down. If you want to put out 3 acoustic tracks over the next 3 months and nobody's buying them, then, after Corona, go back to what you're doing.
Right. No, I think that's great advice to try branching out if you're interested. Luke says he has a question, and this would be a great time for him to pop in. Come say hi.
I want to say hello. Hey.
Hey.
Thank you so much, Mark and Ashley, for jumping in. Actually, I have a question, because you just said it's a great time to create.
Yes.
But a lot of us have actually a hard time creating right now.
Yeah.
And I want you know a lot of artists, and how do they cope with it? Because I'm a mental space right now, and it's I don't know. I personally experience it. It's very hard to create right now. I'm like, oh, I have all this time. I can sit at the piano and compose, and actually, I have built my mental block. Have you heard that from other artists, and how do they deal, or what would be if you have any tips about that?
Yeah, no, for sure. Kind of like in the mental health section, I
Yeah.
kind of went over. I feel like that's been a lot of the stuff that I've talked to friends about is just get outside and don't force yourself to create anything new. Get some other stuff done first, focus on other stuff, and then I think you'll get back into the right headspace when that art is ready to be made. At the end of the day, like music is a business for most of us. It is our livelihood where we make our money. But try to experiment and do other things, like I said, like, maybe try a new instrument. You don't necessarily have to be proficient at it, but if there's something you've always wanted to learn how to play, see if you could get a hands on, a ukulele or something, where you're just like, this is just silly and it's fun. And I think that kind of like it breaks out, it kind of helps break the box that, you might be in a rut. One of my friends says she like calls her grandma, and her grandma like is just full on boozing right now. Maybe not a lot. She probably gets drunk on like, one beverage, but she's like, my grandma is inspiring me so much right now. She is just so funny. She's like, oh my God, I have content for days. So I feel like it's sometimes those things where, you are just reaching out to somebody that you care about, and you might find inspiration in the most random places. So, take chances, go for drives by yourself.
So it's fine not to be creative.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Like I always tell people, it's art. Do what makes you happy. And if it doesn't make you happy at the end of the day, like, why are you doing it? Like, I know I have friends who are accountants. I have a great one. I would hate that job every day. And I am sure there are tons of people doing taxes right now where they're like, I hate my job. We have a job that we love.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to be perfect at all of it. Some days you could do boring business where you're sorting out your taxes, where you're like, all right, I got my quarterlies due. I'm not in the headspace to create. So what else can I do for my business today? And it could just be something as silly as watching, some of the other suggestions I gave today, where it's like, watching other people's videos to be inspired, or just come up with new ideas that whether you do them next week or in 3 months, just keep that little Post-it note log of things to do later. And, when you feel ready to do it then. Like, we have a job that allows us to be happy. Do it then.
Yeah, thank you, because, I personally, I'm like, oh, I don't know how long it's going to be, but maybe by the end of this, I would have accomplished from a creative side this. And I realized that I haven't even started, and it's stressing me, and it's doing the opposite of the original purpose. Anna, we have a few questions from Gibbs, and then we can wrap it up.
Sure.
Yeah, so Gibbs also has a couple he says, thanks, Ashley, so much. He loves the making the bed philosophy, and he's always been a big believer in that.
Yes.
He wanted to add, which you actually just touched on, that he also likes to learn something new. And you talked about that. Maybe pick up a new instrument. He suggests calling one musician a day, which probably
check
good.
on your friends. Check on
right?
your people. Like,
right. And
businesses of 1 to 2, we really work in really big environments. Like, I have 200 coworkers, and some days I have 4.
Yeah.
Check on all of them.
Yeah, that's true. He also has one good recommendation, which is to back up all your stuff, because hard drives are very inexpensive right now. So now is a good time, I guess.
I like cut down my to-do list over here, but back everything up in 2 places. And that's why I said Dropbox. Like, don't just put it on your phone, put it on the cloud, but also put it on Dropbox, because the cloud doesn't always work. So.
Well, Ashley, and Mark, thank you. I'm going to actually wear my hat.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit me, by the way.
Love it.
I want
Made on Printful that you mentioned. I'll take it out. I wear this proudly because that fits me. Thanks everyone for joining us. I hope you like this session. If you want more of this, please email us at info@musicexpo.co. You're all members. You will be able to watch a replay of this session. And also want to do a call out that we're taking a break next Thursday. We're not doing a weekly live stream. However, on Friday, the 15th, we are bringing the full Music Expo experience online for 2 days. We were supposed to have Music Expo in Miami, May 15 and 16. We had to cancel, like I would say to postpone, but we had amazing presenters from Miami, and we decided to actually get them on Zoom and run the expo from their home. Please go to musicexpo.co/at-home. Anna maybe is going to drop the URL to check the tickets. It's a paid event, mainly to pay basically how we run Music Expo. But also we want to take a portion of the proceed and give them to COVID-19 relief funds. Actually, on Monday, I have a conversation with Music Cares, the nonprofit organization from the Grammys. Hopefully we can partner with them. But we have a bunch of organizations lined up. Our role at Music Expo is to do our part to support all the artists, musicians, and producers right now are suffering from COVID, making sure that one, they can up-level their skills through content like that, two, find new revenue streams, and three, hopefully go through and be stronger at the end of it. So again, a big applause, please. Tap, clap, or 1 or 0, whatever on the chat to thank Ashley and Mark today. Let us know if you want to see more of this. Let us know if you want us to invite Mark and Ashley back. Actually, Mark's going to be doing a session. Mark, you want to give a second of what you're going to be doing on June 4th?
Yeah, so is my microphone now working?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Okay, good. So June 4th, we're going to talk about issues surrounding live streams. So we're going to talk about what you can use and what you can't use in a live stream, regulatory issues, what dangers you might face with the things that you present in a live stream, and go over all of the kind of the legal stuff around presenting a live stream. And we will also spend a lot of time touching on music and what services and why you may have had some issues with music, especially after you've done your live stream, trying to post a VOD of your session. So we're going to go kind of over some of those issues and clarify some things and talk all about issues surrounding live streaming.
Great, thank you. And Mark, are we going to talk about updates on CA rules AB5, which I don't know what it means?
Sorry, locked up. I missed that.
It's in the comments. It's in the questions, Mark.
Oh, we're going to talk about updates on CA rule AB5.
Maybe.
Okay.
Because the audience on the live stream is going to be for people from all over. I don't want them to freak out and think that the things we have to deal with here in California would apply to them. So we will check and see how many California people there are.
Okay.
And then we will make our decision based on that. But Gibbs, you could always call me and talk about AB5. You know it's my favorite subject.
So please come back. I mean, we're as I said, Music Expo next week on Thursday, Friday. Check out the website, register, hit Anna or I if you want a special deal. And on June 4th, Mark is coming back. And Ashley, on the last word on you, where do we find you? I know we share you're big on Instagram, but we share your social. Can you give your social again, making sure if we want to get in touch with you?
Yeah.
Follow-ups, where to find you?
Feel free to find me at Spotlight 615. 615 is the area code here in Nashville. So, and then those are the numbers 615. Spotlight 615 on Instagram. Ashley Evans Entertainment on Facebook. And you could email me at spotlight615@gmail.com. All of those, I'll kind of transfer you over to my other accounts from there. So all of them linked to all the places, but Spotlight 615, and we're thankful for all the things that we get to do here, supporting live original music in Nashville and help raise money for charities and all that stuff as well.
We love Nashville and we love everything you're doing. So Mark, again, thank you. I forgot to mention that, and if I had open, I would have said that, but you introduced us to Ashley, so really appreciate. Always great to have you. Thank you for the connection. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye, everyone.